Hey guys, it's Marshall with you, and I'm here making another video. I was recently asked if the Legends Quest Special Effects plugin had the ability to manage boss encounters, and it does. I've been using it for a while in the Legends Persistent World, and most of the features are now in the Special Effects plugin version 1.93, which by the time this video is released should be available to you. So what they had asked me is if I happen to have a video of what it could do for a boss encounter, and I said no, but I would make one. So this is at special request. What I decided to do is, rather than just go through a blank adventure, I decided to just use or show one from the Legends Persistent World. So that's where I am right now. I'm logged into the Legends Persistent World, and I'm in a dungeon instance. I'm actually at the very end of it, and the boss encounter is just beyond the door in front of me. So a little bit of background on what's going on, so the encounter actually makes sense, is that I'm on a quest. This crypt was old and abandoned, and just outside there's an encampment of gnomes and other guys, and they're in here doing some excavations and looking for, you know, artifacts and treasures and history and all that good stuff. And they somehow managed to resurrect the evil of this crypt. And of course they need your help. So when you first arrive, they're all standing around out there, and you can get you know, 3 or 4 quests from them. Come in and, you know, rescue some missing workers, and, you know, loot up some artifacts for them, and kill some undead that are now roaming the halls. And as you go through the quests, you start to learn a little bit more about this crypt, and you learn about this evil undead guy named Maval. And he's really powerful, and a long time ago a group of adventurers were able to imprison him in some kind of prison machine inside this crypt when they defeated his corporeal presence. So you go out into the region and you meet some of the ancestors of these adventurers, and you learn a little bit more about it. You learn about this artifact that they used on this prison machine that helped imprison him. And throughout the whole course of the quest, I've gone through all that, and I've actually obtained the artifact. I have it in my inventory, ready to use, and now I have to defeat him. So the quest I'm on, and I'm just showing my journal here, is this one here called The Rise of Maval. It is a group quest, so you can see through the icon that it is a group quest, and the red background denotes that it's difficult, but it is for a group of level 3, 4-ish type players. So, you know, 5 or 6 level 4 guys in here should be able to take care of this. But because I'm alone, I'm actually using a higher level guy. I'm just a level 9 character for this, just so I can get through it. And again, my only goal right now is to defeat Maval. So this is probably the first, I would say one of the first group boss encounters. You know, as you play in the Legends Persistent World, there are other boss encounters before this one, but this is kind of the first major one. So I figured it would be a good example of one that I could show that leverages the Legends plugins. So again, on the Legends Persistent World, all the plugins are in use, so I use that capability to do a lot of fancy things. So this encounter not only encompasses the Legends Quest plugin, because obviously it's a quest, and the Special Effects plugin for the encounter. It also uses like the Spawn plugin, the AI plugin, Info and Loot, to create the entire encounter. So you're going to see facets of all of it. The key point of the whole encounter is that through everything you're about to see from the time I go through the door until the end, I didn't write a single line of code. While there is a bit of a learning curve for some of my plugins, yes, and some of the features that I'm showing are pretty advanced, there is no script writing whatsoever. It's just point and click and fill in boxes in the tool sets. So we're going to go in here into the room and get this encounter going. So right away you see this room here where Maval is hanging out, and you can see him over there. He's kind of just walking around, and he's not hostile or anything, and he is plot right now, so I couldn't hurt him if I wanted to. And basically what's happening is the Legends Special Effects plugin is waiting for me to get close enough to him to begin the encounter. So I know from experience, and because I wrote it, that shortly after I start the encounter, I'm going to end up fighting him. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to buff up a little bit here first. in preparation for that. Because, yeah, I'm level 9, but he is kind of tough. And the encounter, you know, is more than just one little fight with him. So, if I get some bad rolls and things, he could kill me. So I don't want to take that chance. So I'm just going to buff up a little bit. And summon some help. And then we'll trigger the encounter. Now this is a 3-stage or 3-phase encounter. So there's 3 phases to it. In the first phase, I'm going to go right. Did I do everything? Yes, I've done everything. I'm going to go right now. So a conversation starts off as soon as I get close, and it says, "Who dares enter my domain? Ah, more corpses for my army. I will not tolerate interference with my plans." So this is just a regular conversation. There's nothing special about it, except that at the end of the conversation, there's just a hook into the special effects plugin to say, proceed with the next flag of the special effects manager, and that is to, you know, take the plot flag away from him and make him hostile. So now we'll go into the first fight with him, and the thing is, he's still immortal right now, so that means that I can hurt him and we can fight, but I can't kill him. When I get him down to 1 hit point, he's not actually going to die. But what will happen is the special effects plugin will know this and will set up the next stage or next phase of the encounter. So, oh, he took care of my pet pretty quick there, but hopefully we'll get him down faster. And I think that should about do it. So the special effects plugin should end the fight right about now. Or fairly soon. There we go. So the special effects plugin has ended the fight. It's removed the hostile from him and turned him neutral again and fired up another conversation. It says, "Fools, you think you could stop me? You are nothing. My bride powers my soul." Now you'd learn about his bride and the demon bride he has throughout the course of the quests that you do to get to this point. So he's just referring to that. And he says, "My minions will make short work of you." So off he goes, and he's plot now and neutral again, but he spawns these pet skeletons, if you will, to, you know, take care of you, because, you know, obviously he's got better things to do. So you take care of those guys, and off he goes to this little summoning platform over here. Meanwhile, these skeletons are going to continue spawning forever until the end of the encounter. So, you know, you want to try and take them out quickly because you will get a break in between each spawning. But you can see over here, he's up to something. He's not just standing around. He's got he says, "My barrier is powered by the souls of the dead. You cannot hurt me." And now these strange devices that previously weren't even usable are now usable, and these visual effects are now applied to them. So, again, that's all taken care of by the special effects plugin. You can have placeables that you can't even interact with and have the special effects plugin change them so you can interact with them at a certain point. So he's not going to do anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and examine one of these before some more skeletons start spawning, because they will keep spawning. And I did a spellcraft check, and it says the device seems to power this platform. So obviously these devices are what's powering this shield here that's protecting him now. So I'm going to destroy this this strange device. Now, if you notice, it did do a spellcraft check. If I failed my spellcraft check, it would have just turned around and said, "You don't know what this device is for," and you'd probably have to, you know, ask somebody or take a guess that you'd have to wreck it to get rid of his shield. So I've done one, and you can do them in any order. It doesn't matter which one you do, and you have a little flame effect there showing that it got destroyed. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hit this one once, and I'm going to summon my new guy, because I know after I complete this phase of the encounter, I'm going to end up doing some more fighting. So I'm going to take this opportunity to buff up a little bit. And here comes some more skeletons. So I don't really want to be fighting these skeletons when I destroy this last one, because I know from experience that I'm going to end up fighting him again, and fighting him and the skeletons are not something I want to do. But still makes for an interesting and challenging encounter. But you know what? I'm going to actually let my skeletal warrior to it. I'm going to get rid of this strange device. proceed with the next phase, or the last phase of this encounter. So a little flame on him. He says, "No, no, what have you done?" His shield disappears, and now he's pretty angry at us. But the next conversation kicks off, and he says, "How dare you defile my sanctum? You will rue the day you were born, mortal. And I will destroy you now for your defiance. Prepare to die." At which point, he's all rested up. He's got all fresh new spells now, and he's going to start fighting us again. So I'm going to try and defeat him. But now the special effects plugin has taken the immortal flag away from him, so he can actually die at this point. So we're going to try and finish him off here, so we can complete this part of the encounter. Oh, and more skeletons are being spawned. So we're going to try and take them out as quick as we can here. And as more skeletons start showing up and making this fight harder than it needs to be. But he's almost down. We got him halfway. So again, the special effects plugin is handling all of this. I don't have to code any of this. I just click on the things that I want it to do. He's starting to hurt me a bit. But hopefully we'll get him down. Yep, looks like we're going to get him down soon. And then, of course, after he's dead, there's going to be, you know, some events. We have some more skeletons showing up that are going to start. Boom. So, as you can see, we killed him, and we end up with one little leftover skeleton there that my pet will take care of. But we did kill him, and in a large flame of death and destruction, killed everybody around us. And then, as you can see, this loot just popped up over here. That's again another part of the special effects plugin. It's kind of your reward for defeating him. So I'll explain what kind of happened here. Let me just get rid of this last leftover skeleton. So at this point now, the special effects plugin has done several things. It did a big explosion around the room, you know, just kind of show the you know, his power dissipating, and he's now dead. And of course, all of his skeletons have stopped spawning. They won't spawn anymore, so that's been kind of deactivated now. And of course, he's dropped some loot, which again, part of the loot plugin. And I'm going to take that basement key because I'm going to need that. And my quest advanced. The quest itself advanced, so I needed to kill him to actually carry on my quest. And it says, "You defeat him of all in battle, however, it will take more to prevent his rise again. The adventurers of old had trapped him in some sort of device and must be nearby." So again, that's the prison machine that I needed the artifact for. Finally, what the special effects plugin has done is it generated some loot for us, or it spawned this loot and did some like nice little sparkly effects, and this moonbeam or sunbeam effect over it, cave beam, whatever you want to call it, over top of the chest to just highlight it as a big loot for defeating this this boss encounter. So I'm going to open up that, and I see, oh, I've got like a whole bunch of gold, and I got some magical boats, and a magical amulet. So I'm just going to grab all that. And again, this only appears because of this boss encounter. So, and of course, the boss himself only appears because I'm on the quest. So, in the Legends Persistent world, the way these things work is that because I can only do the quest once and I can only loot things once, I can never loot this chest again. Like, it will never spawn loot for me. It'll spawn loot for other characters, but it just won't spawn loot for me. And that's just my design, but that's completely up to the builder how they want to work that. So I'll move along into the next part of what the special effects plugin, or what I've leveraged the special effects plugin for this boss encounter. And again, I'll look at my journal now, which has been updated, and it now says that I need to put the artifact in the prison machine in order to imprison Maval. So I know that the prison machine is just over here behind this in this door, and that's where I needed that basement key to get this door open that he was carrying. And in here is the old room where he was previously imprisoned, and he's no longer imprisoned here. And again, there's some more loot for finishing this dungeon again. Per my builder, as a builder's design for my dungeon, I only let players loot this once, but some more gear for the players to loot, potentially use or potentially sell or whatever. But again, there's nothing else in here, so obviously this prison machine, it must be what I'm looking for. So all I have to do at this point is put the artifact that I found into it to complete this phase of the quest. But what I want to point out is what the special effects plugin will also do as effects for me when I do this. So in doing this, I'm setting another flag to make something else happen. So we'll put our wooden artifact in this thing and watch what happens. So I get some rumbling, and it says Maval is imprisoned, and I see this new green visual beam appear and some text saying, Maval spirit, no, no, I'll not be trapped in here again. I shall return, and I will hunt for you. And then, of course, this thing starts to happen. These three beams start firing out at this thing here, and all of a sudden this magical portal appears. So again, all of this was done by the Quest and Special Effects plugins. It says you've successfully imprisoned Maval back into the Dark Simidon Crypt. With the Gnome Diggers warned about the dangers of this place, it should be a long time before anyone treks into these halls. You should return to Usai in Sezend, which is actually the guy that's going to finish the quest. He's a guy that I talked to previously to get to this phase of the quest. So I'll click done on that. I'll look here, and I've got all my objectives done, so I got to go back and talk to him. But again, the Special Effects plugin, what it did is it, sent us some little text message, a little message there that says, oh yeah, no, I've been imprisoned, my spirit's trapped, and created this green shield barrier type thing to show that, his prison is reactivated. And then this here is just kind of a side thing that I call a portal. It's kind of a thing that I do at the end of my dungeons to help players so they don't have to actually walk all the way back out through the dungeon. And this portal actually brings them to the outside of the dungeon instance. So again, the little special effects, the three beams and things that you saw, and the portal itself appearing and making it usable is all part of the Special Effects plugin that did all that. Now, of course, I put all the pieces together. I created the placeables and figured out where the beams needed to go and the timing and all that stuff. And that's part of the I guess the learning curve of the Special Effects plugin is you got to kind of figure out how to put it all together and what pieces you need. So this portal, for example, really in the tool set it's like a series of 3 waypoints here for the beam, where the beams fire from, and then there's a waypoint here on where they fire to. There's an invisible collision box here that you can't actually click on. It's just invisible and sitting there, and that's the actual portal with the teleport script on it. And then this song portal type thing are just custom placeables that I use with the right positioning. So there's spawning waypoints here. And what the Special Effects plugin does is, after I activate it, after the flag is set from putting the artifact in the prison machine, is it goes through and it uses the delays to find out how long it does, and the first thing it does is it immediately starts one beam, and then 2 seconds later it starts a second beam visual effect, 2 seconds later it starts a third visual effect, and then a couple seconds after that it does another visual effect of like a summoning of some kind. I can't remember exactly which ones I used. And then it does like it turns the invisible collision box usable, so you can actually click on it, and it activates the spawn point to spawn in this portal. And then of course, now I can just teleport out. So when I click on this, I'll actually leave this dungeon instance and be transported back to the Legends main world, and that's what you're seeing here. I'm actually leaving one server and going to another, and end up just outside of this dungeon instance. So as you can see, I'm at the excavation site. Here's the actual dungeon instance entrance. So this is how I do my dungeon instances. I kind of put like a glowy little entrance there so you can tell it's a dungeon instance. And then out here is where the excavation encampment is, and the beginning, the few gnomes and a dwarf that had quests for me when all this nonsense started. But that's basically how you could do an example boss encounter using the Special Effects plugin. And once again, the Special Effects plugin has the ability to reset all of those things and despawn all that stuff. You can configure all the plugins to clean themselves up. I like to use dungeon instances because I don't have to actually do any cleanup. So the removal of that portal and the removal of the big chest that's sitting there, you can do that in the spawn plugin. You can set like a timer on those things to say after 5 minutes, remove this portal, after 5 minutes remove this big chest kind of thing. You can do all of that, but it's just extra work. when I create dungeon instances, every time as part of the whole dungeon instance system from the Legends Teleport plugin, dungeon instances reset themselves. The whole module just gets reset at the end of the when all the players leave. So right now in the background, that module just got reset, and all those things are disappeared anyway because it's now gone. So that's kind of the route I take, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to have you don't have to use the instances just to be able to do boss encounters. You can configure your special effects to reset everything for the next party on your persistent world to use and to run through the encounter again. So that's it. That's all I really wanted to show. Just an example of how the Special Effects plugin worked, along with a few other plugins. And I hope this was informative. If you got any questions, you can reach me. Well, you can't reach me. I'm currently in the middle of creating a new website, but my email address is on the website. So feel free to go to www.NWN2legends.com to get the latest version of the plugins and to find my email address. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. Thanks, and thanks for watching. Bye.